Good morning everybody, and once again welcome back to the video. In this video we are gonna learn about streaming ETL. The streaming ETL pattern with Apache Hudi is a powerful technique to perform ETL on streaming data with raw static source. So this approach involves processing only the new data that is essentially arriving in a stream oriented fashion. So what we're gonna do in this project is basically we would have a raw source. For the raw source we are gonna take customer, which is a classy example. Then we would have an Apache Hudi order table. Now new orders are constantly coming. Now instead of doing more batch oriented processing, we are going to do stream oriented processing, meaning the streaming data that is coming into the Apache Hudi order table, we're going to read the streaming data from the Hudi tables. We're going to join that with the customer, which is a raw data, static data, and then we are also going to join that with the date dimension. After joining, we are going to update the fact table in near real time. The latency is anywhere between less than 1 minute. So that's what we're going to build. So let's get started with the project. Before we dive into the code, let's just take a look at the diagram. You will have a customer table and you will have an Apache Hudi order table. New upserts are coming into the order table. We're going to, process this data in a streaming fashion, join this with the customer data, join with this the date dimension, and perform an upsert on the fact table. Let's get started. So the first step is we need to define the inputs. Over here, I'm declaring PySpark random UUID OS sys, pandas, boto3 JSON, and a datetime object. Next step is we need to create a Spark session. Over here, as you can see, I'm using the Apache Hudi package 0.12.1, using the Spark 3.3, and I'm creating a Spark session over here. As I mentioned, we have a customer and order table, right? We would need some fake data. So again, I have two methods which will generate some fake data. Here you can see this is the method called get customer data. This will return a customer ID, a name, a state, an email address, created at, and etc, etc. So essentially, all the detail about the customer will be returned by this particular method. Then we have an order. So again, these are going to be generating fake orders for the customer. As you can see over here, it basically randomly selects a customer from the customer that we created, and it's going to create order. So the order will have order ID, the name, order value, priority, order date, and a foreign key, which is your customer ID. Since I'll be performing upsert, it's good idea to have a function which will perform an upsert in the Hudi table. Here you can see I have defined a very simple function. This function takes a Spark data frame, a table name, record ID, precom key, and the job of the function is to perform upsert on the Hudi transactional data lake. The next step is we need to call these helper methods, generate a fake Spark data frame, and then perform an upsert into the Hudi transactional data lake. Let's take a look at the process. Again, pretty straightforward. I'm creating a Spark data frame for a date dimension. I'm creating a Spark data frame from the customer data, and as you can see, and I'm previewing it for you. This is how the date dimension looks like, and this is how the customer dimension looks like, as you can see over here. And then all we are doing is we are calling the method upsert Hudi table. We are creating a Hudi table for customers. We are creating a Hudi table for our date dimensions. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to be inserting data into the orders table, that is the Hudi order table, and then I'll have a separate job which is going to read the data in a stream oriented fashion from these Hudi tables, going to perform a join, and then essentially perform an upsert on the fact table. Let's take a look at the process. I'm going to show you a demo in a second, but I just want to walk you over the code first, and then I'll actually run everything and show you, okay? So here you can see this is I'm just iterating in a for I in range of 10. I'm creating a Spark data frame for order, again some fake order for for customers, and then I'm going to perform an upsert on the Hudi data lake. Now the important part is as I insert the data into this Hudi, we'll have a Spark streaming job which is going to read the data in the streaming fashion and going to join the data with the customer date dimension and then perform an upsert on the fact table. Let's take a look at that code now. Let me show you the Spark streaming job which is going to read the streaming data from this Hudi table. So allow me to share my screen, and I'm going to spend some time over here explaining this. Over here I'm defining my imports, as you can see, from line number 1 to line number 10. From line number 12, I'm defining a package. I'm going to use Hudi.12 for Spark 3.3. I'm creating a Spark session on line 18. And then here I'm declaring all the variables. As you can see, this is the path to my customer Hudi transactional data lake on line number 27, as you can see. Then basically on the line number 28 is the order table, right? From where I'm gonna read the data in a stream oriented fashion. This is my date dimension, and this is gonna be my path to my order fact table. Hopefully if I have the diagram, again, this is how it looks like. We have a customer table, we have an order table, we have a date dimension. So the goal is, again, I'm gonna just quickly explain you. We're going to receive new data in the order table, Hudi table. We're going to read that in the stream-oriented fashion, join with the customer, join with the date dimension, and then perform an update on the fact table. Okay. So basically, as you can see, then on line 31, that's the path to my checkpoint, meaning, anytime the job fails, I want to basically resume it from where it left, right? So that's the path to the checkpoint. Then over here on line 34 and 35, I am reading from the date dimension. This is the static raw part, right? So again, we are joining the streaming oriented data with a static raw zone. Again, as I explained in the architecture. So I'm reading from the date dimension, I'm reading from the customer dimension. These are both Spark data frame. And then as you can see over here, I'm simply casting the column date underscore key as a datetime attribute, right? That's all I'm doing. Now here is the code for stream oriented code, for stream oriented processing. So let me go down. Okay. So order stream and dot write stream. So before that, let's go to the order stream quickly. A little bit up. Over here, yeah. So order stream df is equal to spark dot read stream dot format as Hudi and load from the order table. Meaning I'm reading the streaming data that's coming into the order Hudi table, right? After that, let's go down. Okay, after that we have the checkpoint. So basically, anytime it fails, it will resume from the checkpoint. You can remove line number 100, the trigger part. This basically means that fire my pipeline at an interval of 30 seconds. I can actually remove it and I actually do it more in a real-time fashion. We'll actually see that in the demo part. The for each batch, so for each streaming batch that you get, call the function process batch, and let's see what the function process batch does. So the process batch, the job of the function process batch, I'm gonna explain you in a second. Let me see if I can pull that diagram quickly for you. Okay. So the process streaming batch, let me actually adjust this a little bit. Give me a second. So the process streaming batch, the job is basically to join the order data with the customer data on a key called customer ID, and then join with the date dimension and then perform an upsert on the fact table. So again, that's the same code I have written. So order df.join on the customer data frame. So I'm joining the order and the customer on customer ID, right? Then I'm joining the orders with the date dimension. After doing that, I essentially say, okay, if the count is greater than 0, which means I have data, perform an upsert on the Hudi fact table. That is all the code does. So now it's time, okay, you had a peek at the code. Now let's see everything in action, how everything works, okay? So now let me show you the demo part. So, all right, I'm ready. And again, it's the same code that I essentially showed you. Again, the same code, right? This code is gonna perform that in streaming ETL join, right? And then here is the code where I'm gonna insert into the Hudi data lake. So observe my screen over here. I do not have any messages so far, okay? Now I'm gonna insert the message into the order Hudi table. Just so you see what I'm trying to do. I'm going to insert into the order Hudi table, and the streaming ETL is going to perform a join with the customer, the date dimension, and then perform an upsert into the fact table. So let's see that in action, man. So I'll come here and I'm going to run the cell. Okay, the cell is running. As you can see, this cell is now in the running state. Let me hop over here. So here you can see it did print the Spark data frame and essentially perform an upsert on the order table. Now coming back to the console over here. Now let's see if we can see the message, the join happens, right? So let's wait for a second or two. Yes, so the upsert is still running. So I just printed the Spark data frame and now it's basically performing the upsert. So as soon as the upsert comes, and as you can see now, I see that data coming in, as you can see. So if you see this particular data, order ID, customer ID, order value, priority, and this is the date dimension data key, right? So we were able to perform a join here, as you can see. And if I can actually show you for one of them, I'm gonna copy this one. Hopefully I can find here. Let me see for maybe this one, because I'm doing like order of like 100. Okay, here you can see, right? So this particular one, D2A02633. And that's the same one, right? So go ready whole, right? So as you can see, we were able to perform that join. So basically, when businesses needs the data, when you cannot expect any delays, right? Basically, batch oriented pipelines are absolutely fantastic. They essentially update the fact and the dim table in the night, or maybe probably in a 6 hour or 7 hour. But if you really need real time processing, you can essentially leverage this particular technique to perform real time upsert into your Apache Hudi fact tables. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. The entire step-by-step guide could be found on my blog as well as on my LinkedIn blog post as well. All the code resources shall be given, so I strongly encourage you guys to try this out. That's the best way to learn. If you have any questions, please do post your question in the comments and I can try my best to answer. If I don't know, I'll ask someone and I'll try to answer you. With that being said, keep smiling, keep programming. Hope you have really enjoyed. Yeah, I'll see you in the upcoming next video.